Welcome back to the channel. My name is Abigail if you're new, and I make videos about special needs health issues and feeding tubes and my life as a special needs adult. So, I'm actually talking to y'all while I set up my pump for the night, my feeding tube pump. I thought, hey, this would be a good time to make my video. I kind of wanted to talk about, like, the good and the hard about being on a feeding tube. And, like, my experience and kind of what I think about the whole thing. So, I've been on my feeding tube for almost a year. Will be a year in April? Yeah. In April it will be a year since I had my feeding tube surgery. And if you don't know, I have a hernia. I have a hernia as well as gastroparesis, which is where my stomach is partially paralyzed. And between those two things, I was not able to keep my food down. I got sick all the time. I would eat like once a day, and when I would eat, I'd get sick. So I basically lost a lot of weight, and ended up having to be on a feeding tube. And it just kind of made me think, like, how has being on a feeding tube changed my life? And, like, the good and the hard of it. I would say most of the time, most of it, it's changed my life for the better. There's definitely things that when I got on it at first, I didn't really think that I'd be able to do. Like, you know, anytime you're learning something new, you always have, like, this worry of, what if I can't learn it? Or, what if I don't know what I'm doing? And, you know, there's that worry. There was that worry when I first got on the feeding tube. But not so much anymore. I learned it really well. And, one of the questions I get asked, not really like online, but like in general, is if I had a choice between being on the feeding tube and being able to eat by mouth like I used to could, but I would have like the same problem of getting sick all the time, would I choose to go back to have food by mouth? And this might be surprising to some people, but honestly, no. Because back whenever I could eat by mouth, yes, I could eat whatever I wanted to. For the most part. I mean, I do have gastroparesis, so I was, like, on the gastroparesis diet for a while. But, if you're talking about, like, how it used to be. Like if I could eat like anything by mouth and um get sick or be on a feeding tube and be full, I'd rather be on a feeding tube. Okay, so I'm actually priming my tube right now, so I'm gonna talk while I prime this. Um, this seems to be a question that I feel like people wonder is like, um, if I could go back to like how it was before my feeding tube, but still have like the same issues and getting sick all the time, would I, um, like go back to wanting to eat anything that I could eat by mouth but get sick like after an hour to 30 minutes. 30 minutes to an hour. And the answer is no. There are foods that I do miss being able to eat. But I still get to have some kinds of candy, some kinds of ice cream, um, those kind of things. And I know that it's kind of a hard thing for people to understand. But basically, if you're new to how a feeding tube works, some people are on it just sometimes, some people are on it all the time. I am on it all the time. I am off of it um to shower or to change clothes, and then sometimes like if I have like a dentist appointment that's only going to be like 30 minutes or something, I'll be off of it for a short time. Something like that. Something that doesn't happen very often. Um but basically my feeding tube is um where I get my calories, and how I get my calories is my formula. Even the few things, the few pieces of candy and the few things of ice cream and things like that I can have, it's very limited because like the ice cream can't be like really chunky. Um like the things in the ice cream got to melt, so it'd have to be like pretty much plain or like have like chocolate chips in it. I can vent out of my G tube, like get sick out of my G tube, but it has to, in order to go through my G tube, it has to melt. And the easiest way to explain why I don't really crave food on a feeding tube is it's like, imagine, even if you're not able to eat by mouth, imagine something making your stomach full. Rather that's eating something, or even though my specific feeding tube goes into my intestines called a J tube or my jejunum, um, it's basically like the same thing. It's not, but it makes me feel full like it's going into my stomach. So it's like, imagine eating something and you feel full, and whenever you feel full, even if you're able to eat by mouth, you don't want anything. It doesn't sound good. And even though I can still smell food and I can remember the taste of food, I don't really crave it. Um some things I still like to taste. which is why I have like some kinds of candies that can melt. But mostly if I miss a food, it's not that I'm hungry, it's that I miss the taste of the food. So I hope that that kind of like explains it, because a lot of people get confused. They're like, I couldn't imagine just being on formula. My formula, I'm on longevity, and um, I go through like 4 bottles in like a 24-hour period, and this is where my nutrition is. Now I can have water by mouth, I can have just about any drink by mouth. But as far as like my nutrition goes, I get this formula. And that's just the best way to explain it, is that my formula, my feeding tube gives me the nutrition that I need, so I don't really crave um food. I mean, I do miss it sometimes. Like I remember the taste, and whenever I smell something cooking, like I can remember what it tasted like. It'd be like, "Oh, that was a really good taste." But it's not like a hunger issue. It's more of like, oh, I missed that taste kind of issue. So, anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure that you like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, everyone.